He sees two sisters walking along the sidewalk, and that reminds him that in their childhood, when he used to tutor Ina, Hee-ju always acted as the interpreter. Just then, he gets a call from Hee-ju as the kidnapper, and while on the call, Se-eon deduces that Hee-ju was forced to act mute by her mother since Ina became deaf from the incident. Hee-ju is shocked to hear that, and she again asks him if he won't leave his wife if Ina returns. Se-eon says that he won't, and Hee-ju asks if it is because of pity for the poor girl. He reaches the place where Hee-ju is sitting at this point, and just as he is about to tell his true feelings for her, a car approaches him. Se-eon freezes like a deer in the headlights, and Hee-ju yells his name as she rushes to save him from the speeding car. They fall to the ground, and then Se-eon gives her first aid. He takes some time to process that he heard her calling his name just now, but she denies that. He asks her to speak again, telling her that this is her chance to speak out everything she has been holding back for all these years. Despite that, Hee-ju doesn't say anything. Later, as she returns home, she gets a call from an unknown number, which turns out to be the kidnapper, and Hee-ju breaks down on hearing his voice. He tells her that he was in the car that was just about to hit Se-eon, and seeing how she saved him, he is sure that she doesn't plan to get a divorce now. She asks him why he wants them to get divorced, and he replies that he wants to make Se-eon suffer because he knows some horrible things he has done. He tells her to hurry up and do something, or Se-eon is going to know her truth. On the other hand, Ina has not yet gotten a response from Hee-ju, so she is planning something too. The next day, as Hee-ju goes to the office on her first day, the president's press secretary greets all the new recruits. When he learns that Hee-ju can't speak, he asks how she is going to communicate with others. Se-eon says that he will learn sign language and ensure that everyone is interpreting their words correctly, because that was what Hee-ju advised him to do during the interview. The secretary likes the idea because that means more positive reviews from the people. Later, Hee-ju decides to teach him sign language, but he has already memorized the alphabet as his homework. She asks him to write the phrase he wants to learn, and the first thing he asks her to teach is how to sign her name and that he looks forward to working with her. At night, the entire team goes on a dinner, and everyone is shocked because it is Se-eon's first time joining them. However, he quickly surprises them with his grilling skills. Jae gets a call and leaves for a moment, and then he returns to call Se-eon out too. He tells him that he finished decoding the modulated voice, but the quality is not so clear. The voice sounds a lot like Hee-ju, and Se-eon starts connecting the dots, and he tells Jae that he will send another audio to compare to this voice. He then returns to the dinner and gets drunk soon, so a valet has to drive him home. Hee-ju returns soon after, and she finds Se-eon passed out in his car. She tries to wake him up, but when he doesn't, she supports him and takes him to their home. They stumble and fall to the ground, and Hee-ju lands right on top of Se-eon, their lips touching by accident. She is too shocked to move, and Se-eon wakes up by the time she gets away from him. Se-eon sees a dream in which he is just a boy and someone is dunking him in the water again and again. He tries coming out, but the man pushes him into the pond, and then he starts sinking. The dream ends with that, and he comes back to his senses, but surprisingly, his hands feel heavy. He looks to his side, and to his shock, Hee-ju is sleeping peacefully there. When she wakes up, both of them separate in a hurry because they had fallen asleep right on the floor last night. Later, as they have breakfast, Se-eon asks Hee-ju what they were doing on the floor together because his memories are hazy. Hee-ju hesitates to give an answer, and then Jae calls Se-eon. He tells him that he sent the result of the voice test last night, and it was a 99% match. This shakes Se-eon's world, as he now knows Hee-ju was calling him while pretending to be the kidnapper. He goes to Jae, who has prepared a full flow chart about the calls he received and the incidents surrounding them. But Se-eon tells him that the caller and the kidnapper are not partners, but they are somehow connected. As he thinks about the calls and the things she said to him, he realizes that Hee-ju was testing him, and he couldn't realize it earlier despite there being clear hints. Later that day, as it is time for him to learn sign language, he gives Hee-ju a long list of words he wants to learn, including anger, lies, and forgiveness. He can't focus, so he calls off the lesson and leaves the room, and then Hee-ju gets a text from Ina again, saying that they should meet up today. Hee-ju goes to meet her in an aquarium, the memories of their strained childhood resurfacing in her mind. However, Ina turns around cheerfully to see her and starts speaking to her. Hee-ju is shocked because she lost her voice when she lost her hearing, but Ina tells her that she got a surgery to fix it. She then asks Hee-ju why she is still pretending to be mute, because she knows that she could speak the entire time. Hee-ju feels betrayed on hearing this and walks out, but Ina stops her. She apologizes for doing this to her, because she knows that Hee-ju acted to be mute because of her, and she let that happen since she didn't want to suffer alone. She tells her that she can speak now, but Hee-ju lashes out at her in sign language, saying that no one else decides her life. She walks away angrily and doesn't receive Ina's calls. However, Ina texts her to tell her a secret about Seiyeon. She says that she didn't dump her on Seiyeon, but he asked to marry Heeju in exchange for letting her go.